Well, voters could have a say when it comes to that income tax that the state legislature passed earlier this year. You remember the so-called millionaires tax? Well, it fired up a lot of folks, including the Let's Go Washington organization, and they are here now at the Secretary of State's election headquarters in Tumwater, where they are dropping off thousands of signatures gathered on initiatives this spring. And the organization says it has more than enough to qualify for the ballot. That will be up to the Secretary of State's office, who will begin the verification process. We should know in a couple of weeks if they qualify for the ballot. If so, it would be up to voters come November, although there are some who think, including the governor and folks with Let's Go Washington, who think ultimately this will be up to the state Supreme Court justices. But the voters could turn it down come November, or they could approve it. We'll have to see.
Police are asking for the public's help after an attempted stabbing in downtown Bellevue last weekend. Investigators say officers arrested a 35-year-old man on suspicion of second-degree assault after Sunday's incident in the 500 block of 110th Avenue Northeast. Police say there is no ongoing threat to the public, but they're asking anyone who witnessed the incident or recorded video to contact the Bellevue Police Department as the investigation continues.
A teenager was left in critical condition after jumping off a dock into Lake Washington. This happened near Mount Baker Park on June 23rd, which was one of those really hot days where we saw temperatures in the 80s and 90s. And I just got back the CAD report, which is a record from the Seattle Police Department that shows the exact timing of everything that happened. The 911 call came in at 3:43 p.m. from a witness saying they'd seen a child jumping into the water. A friend jumped in after, and neither were seen getting out. 2 minutes later at 3:45, the friend who jumped in after got out, the CAD report says, but the other child was still not seen. At the same time, the report says paddle boarders converged in the area to help emergency responders rescue swimmers identify the area the child went under. 9 minutes later at 3:54, the report says the child was located and emergency responders were working on getting him to the surface. Now, this report really shows how quick the people there responded to this scary situation and helped emergency rescuers get to the boy as fast as they could. The 17-year-old was taken to Harborview and listed in critical condition. King 5 followed up asking if there's been any update on his condition in the past week. They said he's since been taken to another pediatric facility. As we learn more information, of course, we'll keep you updated.
A 19-year-old is fighting for his life at Harborview Medical Center after what happened more than a week ago. It was on June 24th that cautioned man called 911, said he was in the middle of a mental health crisis and that he had a firearm. When police arrived, according to independent investigators, they say they worked for about 10 minutes to de-escalate the situation. They were able to confirm the teen was armed. They tried to use less lethal tactics, according to investigators, but 3 Federal Way police officers did end up discharging their weapons, and man was shot. He is here at Harborview and was brought here in critical condition. His family is raising questions about why this kind of force was used. They want to see the body cam footage and they want access to the 911 recording. They say law enforcement has not turned that over yet. They have hired an attorney and they are been here at the hospital by man's side, hoping that he will be able to make a recovery soon.
You might want to cancel your Friday night plans because Pike Place Market is staying open late. I'm Bethany on the King News Desk, and Pike Place Market is launching The Night Shift, a new after-hours event series this summer. The Night Shift will happen on the 4th Friday of every month from July through October. The free events will feature live music, art, food, drinks, and pop-up experiences throughout the market. The first night shift is July 24th, with activities running from 3 to 9 p.m.
Representative Pramila Jayapal is introducing new legislation to help families buy fresh fruits and vegetables nationwide. It's called the Fresh Bucks for Fresh Produce Act, and it's modeled on a program already launched in Seattle. The act would establish a pilot program to give families making 80% or less of their area's median income $60 per month to spend on produce. This program has led to a 31% higher food security rate so far here in Seattle. Representative Jayapal says Congress must prioritize work on efforts to lower costs and help Americans stay afloat. Jayapal launched her campaign for re-election last month.
Woo! Yes. The Seahawks dancers are here and Chromatique. Samantha, tell me about this partnership.
Yeah, we have a partnership with the Seahawks dancers for the last 5 years, and we are the official sponsors, and we did a little refresh on all of the dancers before we start the season.
They look incredible. It's all about choreography, right? How it moves. Lillian, you're showing us something, right?
Yeah, let's go.
Oh gosh.
Girls.
Okay.
Okay, we're gonna take 5, 6, 7, 8.
The choreography on that.
Want to try it with us?
Okay.
Let's
Yeah.
go. Come on, Jay.
Jay?
Oh my
Okay. Jay.
5, 6, 7, 8, and oh wait.
Oh, I was way off.
5, 6, 7, 8, and 1.
Did we nail it?
Perks of the job. That means different things to different people. And when I was a young boy, exactly 2 of my heroes had access to their own seaplane, Indiana Jones, and the host of Evening Magazine. Now in our 40th season as host of Evening Magazine, I have access to Maggie too. This isn't just any seaplane, it's a part of a Seattle legend. Canmore Air has been flying from the north end of Lake Washington since 1946, making it one of the world's most iconic seaplane operators. Now the Beaver is widely considered one of the greatest bush planes ever built. Our plane is the Big Brother, an Otter. It can haul heavy loads, take off in incredibly short distances, and operates where most airplanes simply can't. This is the SUV of the seaplane world. There are shows that tell you stories, and then there are shows like ours that takes you to the story on a seaplane.
Yeah, that's the way we kind of planned it out, and you know, as we talked about, everyone sharing the load a little bit, and you know, it was going to be those 2 before, and it will be those 2 again, and so I think you know, that's more of where it stands rather than, you know, a strategical thing. It's just a matter of trying to keep everybody stretched out as best we can, and we felt like you know, those are the next 2 guys up.
We have another one on the road trip. Are you done with that?
Likely. Again, hard to know how it's all going to play out, but likely have another one as we go forward.
Wenatchee police are bringing back their flock cameras that read license plates. The department deactivated the system late last year over data privacy concerns. In a community notice posted online, police called the cameras a valuable tool for finding stolen vehicles and investigating crimes. The department did not say exactly when the cameras will be operational again.
All right, Luna, why don't you come up on stage? Luna, come here, come. Who are you gonna pick? Oh, look at that. Are you gonna pick the USA? Are you gonna do that? Oh, what's happening? It's gonna be a tough, close match. Which way are we going? Which way are we going? I guess that means at halftime we're tied. Luna, which way are you going? Luna's very undecided on this match. It's very difficult. We do have a red card we're dealing with. Well, I think Luna knocked down the flag, so I will declare the United States the winner.
In the course of our Selling Skinny investigation, a lot of you have probably asked this question: how is it legal? We've been exposing safety problems with knockoff GLP-1 diet drugs that you can buy on the internet cheaper than name brand versions. Our stories have raised questions about whether they're safe for you to take. But there's a legal question, right? How can these telehealth companies and compounding pharmacies that manufacture the drugs sell them when big pharmaceutical companies hold the patents? Big Pharma says they can't and has filed many lawsuits across the country to try to protect their patents on semaglutide and tirzepatide, the active ingredients in Ozempic and Zepbound. Compounding pharmacies argue, among other things, that they're adding ingredients like vitamin B12, so their product's not a direct copy. In the case of this lawsuit filed by Novo Nordisk, which makes Ozempic, the telehealth Mochi, which we've reported on widely for safety violations, is asking a judge to dismiss Novo's lawsuit. So there are these legal battles underway. The Food and Drug Administration has warned, by the way, that compounded GLP-1s come with risks because they're not FDA approved. So, buyer beware.
Well, check this out. For the first time in nearly 3 decades, the Woodland Park Zoo is welcoming a new colobus monkey. The birth happened earlier this month, June 15th. The baby, whose sex has not been determined yet, is the second offspring for Mom Mokiki. Zoogoers can see the new baby monkey with Mom Mokiki and Dad Lewis in the outdoor section of the Tropical Rainforest Loop.
Yes, George Kirby was smiling. He goes from just pure anger as he's getting that final strikeout with 2 ons. Furious George. But then he's smiling in the dugouts. They did a little tunnel for him. He was sharp 8 innings on the mound.
I mean, how could he not be smiling? It was the best he's looked all season. Second time going 8 innings this year. I think this was the more impressive win, though. Gave up a few early runs, 7 strikeouts, 1 walk, and he battled rather than got rattled. So I think that was really what kind of separated this one.
I like that. Battled rather than got rattled. I think 1 walk, only 1 walk. That has been kind of his calling card before this season. He struggled a little bit with that this year, but only giving up that 1 walk was huge. 100 pitches on the dot. He says when he left the 7th inning, he wasn't sure if he was going to go out there for the 8th inning. He had no conversations with Dan Wilson. He went to do his normal routine, came back out, and Dan said, go finish it.
And that was a great decision by Dan and the pitching staff because obviously he was feeling it. He was still throwing okay. Only with 100 pitches. We've seen plenty more than that. But also, we saw how the bullpen imploded the night before. Mm-hmm. They needed to get through this one as far as possible with their starting pitcher.
Today, we heard from an immigration attorney who filed a bar complaint against Alexandra Lozano back in 2021. She says that the bar did not do anything and ended up dismissing her complaint in 2023. This is the first time we're hearing on the record from a fellow attorney about Miss Lozano. A lot of people have told me that they're afraid of retaliation or litigation for speaking out against her. Jennifer Scarborough says that she first came across Alexandra Lozano when she came across her Amiga lawyer group. It was a group Lozano founded dedicated to helping women lawyers who were also mothers practicing immigration law. When she found out about her practices and also some of the misleading statements that she had been making on social media, she left the group and filed that complaint. Her biggest concern was that Lozano's husband and business manager at the time was also the owner of this psychological evaluation company called Ensolaridad, and Lozano was referring her clients to her husband's company to get psychological evaluations done so that those could be attached to their Violence Against Women Act applications. The Bar Association dismissed Jennifer's complaint in 2023, saying that they shared her concerns about potential conflicts of interest, but they just didn't do anything about it and dismissed her complaint.
Track the tropics. The Atlantic side of things are pretty quiet. We had one little disturbance off the coast of the Carolinas. Looks like it's going to ingest a lot of dry air and essentially die. So all is calm and quiet on that side. As we take a look at the Pacific Ocean, things continue to heat up. We could be looking at our next tropical depression as early as tonight or tomorrow. If this continues to strengthen, this would become Tropical Storm Douglas, by the way. That is next on the list. However, right now it is going to be moving north and then eventually northwest. So maybe eventually we'll get into some watches and warnings for the Hawaiian Islands. As of right now, it's just in the process of strengthening and will likely move into an environment that may allow it to strengthen a little bit more as it continues to eventually move toward the northwest. Nonetheless, there's a quick update on the tropics. We will continue to watch all of it on all of the oceans and keep you updated as we go.
Ordering, but that's going to end up costing us like $300.
This is not an opposites attract situation. It's a perfect match, literally.
We met coaching soccer in 2005 when we were both home from our freshman year of college. We were coaching for Skyhawks.
But it would be 15 years until Brooke Marriott and Landon Moeller reconnected.
We saw each other again for the first time at Snoqualmie Falls, which is a place that's really special to both of us. And it was amazing to see somebody after so long and think, oh, this is exactly the person I remember him being.
No drama, no red cards, and the pair is set to be married soon. The goal on this roster is making memories at every World Cup since they've been together.
I'm just a big fan of traveling in soccer, and so is she. And so when she heard about it, there was no question about it. She was comfortable. And I don't think that you ever didn't.
It was not a hard sell.
This World Cup couple has made 7 matches in 2 weeks. LA for US versus Paraguay, Vancouver for Australia versus Turkey, Seattle for Belgium versus Egypt, Dallas for England versus Croatia, then a stop to their current home in Denver before heading back to Vancouver for New Zealand versus Egypt, and a return to Seattle for Bosnia and Herzegovina versus Qatar and Egypt versus Iran. That familiar face in their photos at a Seattle Stadium match is King 5's own Rich Marriott, catching up with his daughter Brooke. It costs money to make plans like this, but they have zero regrets.
We talk a lot about the fact that at the end of our life, we won't ever remember what something cost, but we will remember all of these incredible experiences that we've had together.
They kick off their marriage in Northern Ireland on July 18th, and it too coincides with World Cup magic.
The World Cup final is the weekend of our wedding, so we'll be having a watch party the day after our wedding. So we've incorporated the World Cup into the wedding weekend as well. But we're just so excited to have our family and friends come and join us in Northern Ireland and get to share our love of travel and maybe force our love of soccer on some of our guests.
21 years since they first met, Brooke and Landon's love story is full time.
We have breaking news this morning. The Supreme Court has ruled states can ban transgender girls and women from competing in school sports teams. This just adds to the conservative majority's track record of ruling against transgender Americans. This time, the ruling is for cases that originated from Idaho and West Virginia. It involves 16-year-old Becky Pepper Jackson from West Virginia, who sued to compete in school sports as a girl. She's identified as a girl since she was 8 years old and also has a birth certificate recognizing her as a girl. The other person involved is Boise State student Lindsay Hecox, who wanted to try out for her college's cross-country team as female. More than 24 states have similar bans, and today's ruling is expected to reinforce those laws.
After nearly a year behind closed gates, a popular corner of Olympic National Park is about to welcome visitors back. The staircase developed area will remain reopened July 8th, along with its campground, the ranger station, Rapids Loop Trail, and access road. That area has been closed since last July because of damage from the Bear Gulch fire. The backcountry trails will stay closed while crews continue repairs and some hazard checks there. Visitors are urged to use caution because burned areas may still have some falling trees, some loose rocks, and some unstable ground.
Has the World Cup been a win for every Seattle neighborhood? One community leader says not yet. I'm Bethany on the King News Desk. And while Seattle leaders celebrate record crowds and transit ridership, the executive director for the China International District says those economic benefits have not been shared equally.
I want to be honest. The economic benefits have not been equal across all our neighborhoods. We've seen a 10% increase in foot traffic overall, and post-match windows have been incredible. But that energy has been concentrated, and businesses further from the stadium corridor, like those in Little Saigon and the Central District, are not seeing that same lift. So I want everyone who discovered the neighborhood during the World Cup to keep coming back long after the final whistle, but also we need that same energy to reach every corner of the CAD.
As Seattle heads into the knockout rounds, she's hoping more fans venture beyond the stadium and help spread the economic impact across the entire neighborhood.
Two people pleaded not guilty this afternoon to second-degree murder in the death of a joint-base Lewis McChord veteran. Yesterday, police arrested Humberto Hernandez and ID Casado Dominguez weeks after 28-year-old Kalick Bradley vanished. Bradley was engaged to Casado Dominguez when he disappeared in early June. The other suspect told investigators Casado Dominguez shot Bradley after an argument. He says they then buried Bradley's body in Spanaway and led police to the remains. Casado Dominguez denies those claims. The two of them will be in court next on July 22nd. A man and woman are now charged with running a prostitution operation out of two massage businesses. Prosecutors charged Nam Soo Kim Wednesday in Pierce County Superior Court with leading organized crime and 2 counts of promoting prostitution. His case is tied to Thuy Tan Bui Higginbotham, who was arrested in March. Kim is accused of helping Higginbotham run the prostitution operation at Ocean Spa and Rose Spa. Lakewood police launched an investigation into both locations after flagging explicit posts online advertising women. Now, Kim is being held on a $500,000 bail. Higginbotham is out of jail now, but has a trial scheduled for October.
A pregnant woman here in Tacoma was attacked by 2 dogs last Thursday. The dogs were taken into protective custody, and the mother went into labor here at Tacoma General Hospital. Good news is her little boy, Armani, is just fine. He has been able to go home, but the mother is still here at the hospital recovering from severe dog bites and potential infections as well. The Tacoma Animal Control branch of the Tacoma Police Department did seize the animals. They've been declared as dangerous. Those owners have about another week or so to contest that. If they don't contest it, those dogs will be put down. It sounds like they got out of a backyard through a broken fence post that apparently the owners knew about, according to investigators.